This is Michael Springman. He was at the US consulate in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia at the time of Father George Bush's presidency. And he said this on camera. In Saudi Arabia, I was repeatedly ordered by high-level State Department officials to issue visas to unqualified applicants. These were essentially people who had no ties to either the Saudi Arabia country or their own country. I complained bitterly at the time there. I returned to the US, I complained to the State Department, to the General Accounting Office, to the Bureau of Diplomatic Security and the Inspector General's office. I was met with silence. What I was protesting was in reality an effort to bring recruits rounded up by Osama bin Laden to the US for terrorist training by the CIA. They would then be returned to Afghanistan to fight against the then Soviets. And another guy who died at a very inappropriate time in terms of getting some truth out about this, Robin Cook, former Foreign Secretary, he said just before he died, throughout the 80s, bin Laden was armed by the CIA and funded by the Saudis to wage jihad against the Russian occupation of Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda, literally the database, was originally the computer file of the thousands of mujahideen who had been recruited and trained with the help of the CIA. So the whole Al-Qaeda is an American creation, an American invention, which is then used as the villain to hide who is really responsible for these terrorist outrages that have led to the changes in society that we've come across. These two people were named by the Clinton State Department as funders of Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, both of them fundamentally connected to the Bush family. Bin Mafous was a funder of Harkin Energy. He was involved in the Carlyle Group. Harkin Energy was another Busto company of Boy George Bush. And this is why, days after 9/11, when people who with brown faces, never mind what their religion is, we can't be bothered, you've got a brown face over here, were being arrested and kept without charge or trial or even knowledge of their families of where they were after 9/11, members of the bin Laden family, 11 members at least, were allowed to fly out of, appropriately, Boston Logan Airport without any problem whatsoever back to Saudi Arabia to get out of the situation they were potentially in. And that was on the say-so of the Bush administration. Negroponte, he's the UN ambassador at the time of 9/11. He was involved in horrendous stuff. I won't go into it, we've got time, but horrendous stuff in Central America, horrendous treatment of people and mass murder. And he's gone on to be head of all US operations in Iraq and now head of US intelligence. All the same people to create the right outcome. So, 9/11, problem, reaction, solution. Well, this guy summed it up straight away. Straight after 9/11, Mr. Dark Eyes said, "This is a moment to seize. The kaleidoscope has been shaken. The pieces are in flux. Soon they will settle again. Before they do, let us reorder this world around us." Problem, reaction, solution. The problem: 4 aircraft pretty much simultaneously hijacked over American airspace, and at no point in the entire time and period it took place was any action taken that affected the outcome of the events. This is in the most protected airspace in the world, apparently. This guy, Leroy Fletcher Prouty, worked in special operations in America, time of the Kennedy administration. And he was talking about assassinations when he said this, but this sums up perfectly this whole 9/11 thing as well. He said, "No one has to direct an assassination. It happens. The active role is played secretly by permitting it to happen. This is the greatest single clue. Who has the power to call off or reduce the usual security precautions?" And again it works. It happened with the Kennedy assassination. It happened with the assassination of Robert Kennedy. It happened with the killing of Martin Luther King. It happened with the death of Princess Diana. At the key time, the security was withdrawn. Why? Because if it hadn't been, the assassination would not have been possible. Now, the security of American airspace is the job of this organization, NORAD. And it's very clear in the regulations, you can get them on the internet. Whenever a plane is hijacked or loses contact with air traffic control, they have to immediately tell NORAD, the military Air Force organization, which defends the airspace of not only America but Canada, and they send up jets to see what the hell's going on, because you can't have planes flying around not connected to the communicating with the ground, with especially the airspace of the east of the United States. So that's what happens, and it happens like 120, 130 days a year they send jets up in these situations. They say themselves, NORAD, that they are partners in protecting our homelands, deter, detect and defend against air and space threats to North America. Brackets, except on September the 11th.